Have you ever engaged in a serious debate over which is better, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? Have you ever played Smash or Pass using only characters from Star Wars and Marvel movies? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we have the podcast for you. Listen to The Steam Gentleman, the podcast where an expert panel convenes to ask the questions about pop culture and social commentary that other podcasts are afraid to ask. Listen to The Steam Gentleman on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Warning, this product contains extreme nostalgia. Has your job got you down? Is adulting not as fun as you thought it would be? Do you want a way to recapture that happiness from when you were a kid? At Retrostalgia Box, you feel like a kid again. Comics, toys, and video games hand-curated from the past and straight to your door. Unbox happiness at retrostalgiabox.com. Once again, that's retrostalgiabox.com. Yeah! Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of the Real World Chronicles. I know, this seems crazy that I am going to do a real world save. I'm going to give it a shot. I do not know how good it's going to go, but I am going to give it a chance here. So I just wanted to show all of you what I have done so far. And in typical Brad Drake fashion, just so you know, I have created a spreadsheet. Okay, so I downloaded the January version of Real World Chronicles. So I understand that there have been some minor changes in rosters, but I'm leaving it as is. And I'm going to tell you why, everybody. This one is not going to be done the way things are in the real world. Things here are going to be done as fantasy booking. And I'm going to have some fun with this and see what I can do with AEW. I watch AEW every week. I watch both Rampage and the main show, whose name escapes me at this moment. I'll be honest, a lot of the time, I do fall asleep watching the episodes. I catch up on the weekends, and sometimes I end up falling asleep watching them. But I am going to try to do this save. So I have taken the entire roster of AEW, and I have plugged it into the game. Okay, so everybody is on here. And I never realized how massive this roster is until I started doing this. Okay, so this is AEW right here on the screen. Now we have Ring of Honor. Okay, here is Ring of Honor. All right, now the asterisk indicates that they're also on the main roster of AEW. Okay, so there we go. We got all these broken down. And now I did something that I think Ring of Honor was planning on doing anyway. I created a separate child company called Women of Honor. Okay, and I moved the Ring of Honor World Women's title over to Women of Honor. And I assigned the women that were currently signed to Ring of Honor on there. You'll see an asterisk here under women's names. I have to sign them to new contracts under AEW and then put them in Women of Honor because they had contracts strictly with Ring of Honor. Now you're going to see people like Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill and that in there. Okay? The reason being is these women need seasoning. They need matches, right? So what's better than to put them in an only women's promotion? I can still use them for AEW shows, but now they're also in a women's only promotion. Well, they'll get match after match after match. Okay? I created a Women of Honor TV show, and it is signed with Honor Club. I also created Ring of Honor Wrestling TV show, and it's signed with Honor Club. Also got some YouTube deals for them. So these, both Women of Honor and Ring of Honor, will have weekly women's shows. I'm sorry, weekly wrestling shows on TV. So let's go over a few other things. The women's roster for AEW, I trimmed down. Not that we're not going to use the Ring of Honor women. These are just women that are more seasoned and can put on some decent matches for us. And I don't necessarily feel have to go to Ring of Honor. So you may disagree with me, and that's just fine, but this is what I'm doing for the save. And I think it's a cool concept, and I'm going to stick with it. So here are our 5 women, 5 heels, 5 faces. Of course, red on the roster, everybody indicates out with an injury. Now, somebody already asked me, why do you have CM Punk on there? Well, do we know if he's officially been released or not? I didn't edit anything in the game, so I kept all the contracts and everything the way they are. I know people seem to have a problem when I do that with stuff, so I have not done that for this game. The only edit I made is I made one edit, and I made Honor Club owned by AEW, because it didn't make much sense for it to be owned by Ring of Honor, right? Okay, so with that said, all the tag teams have been plugged in here, everybody. So our spreadsheet is set. The only thing we have to do is put in TV shows, and eventually we are going to run tour dates just like my other saves. We will get rid of house shows. We will run tour dates. The same is going to go for Women of Honor and Ring of Honor. We will suspend house shows, and we will run weekly tour dates for them. Another thing, just so you know, I put Women of Honor in Tri-State, and I moved Ring of Honor over to Tri-State. Didn't make any sense for Ring of Honor to be in Mid-Atlantic. I mean, I guess it's technically moved over there now, but let's keep it original. All right, so let's take a look at the game here, and we are going to make some changes live and in living color here. All right, some of you may know me, and I am a bit of a wrestling traditionalist, I should say, and I always will be, and it's just the way I am. So there is no reason here why AEW needs 3 women's titles for such a small division, okay? So this title is going to be retired. The TBS title is going to be retired, okay? So it's gone. So here's the women's world title, still on there. Jamie Hayter's the world champion, and I guess I got to adjust this here. I didn't do that. No, I got it right. There we go. All right. The AEW world title. I can't stand it that it's called the world title. Okay? We are going to call it the world heavyweight title. Now, it sounds like a pro title. Never understood that world thing. Wrestling titles are supposed to be based off of actual legitimate titles. In the case of wrestling, it's boxing. It's supposed to be based on boxing. Now you could even say MMA also. So you have to differentiate that. So there we go. We have the World Heavyweight title. The AEW TNT title. I always thought that was a dumb name because you're not defending it just on TNT. You're also defending it on other television shows on other channels. Okay, so from here on out, the AEW TNT title will be known as the AEW World Television title. All right, so there we go. There's the World Television title. Now, the World Trios title. I think 6-man tag titles in America, unless it is the only time I saw it where it worked somewhat was in World Class in the 80s, and it really wasn't overkill back then, too. I don't see any purpose for it. Not when you have a hot tag team division like they do, and a promotion does not need 20 titles. Okay? So the World Trios title, retired. All right. FTW, World title. Again, we have no reason to have this title. It serves no purpose. We are retiring it. Okay? All right, so now that leaves us with the World Heavyweight title, the World Television title, the World Tag Team title. Now, we have this other thing called the All Atlantic title, and they have it here listed under Alliance. All right, so review the Alliance title, the All Atlantic title. Okay, this is another one that I see zero purpose for them having this title. There's no point. All right, so we are going to retire this title. All Atlantic title is done. Now, I want to show you something that I think is pretty important here. Check out all these wrestlers that are small wrestlers. There is approximately 60 small wrestlers on the AEW roster. All right, so we're going to do something here that I think you should have, especially in a promotion like AEW. We are going to introduce the AEW World Junior Heavyweight title. All right. The reason we're going to introduce the World Junior Heavyweight title is because we have very close ties with New Japan that respects the Junior Heavyweight division. So why not have a World Junior Heavyweight title? It makes sense. An All-Atlantic title doesn't make an ounce of sense. But this one does. So that's what we're going to do. All right, let's take a look here and see if we can find ourselves a cool picture under AEW titles for the World Junior Heavyweight title. Ooh, somebody took some pretty creative stuff here. Made some cool titles. We have some different old designs here. That's the old women's title. And I like it. You can't see anything. It's a smaller title. So that doesn't even matter. We're going to create this as our World Junior Heavyweight title. Now we'll make the max weight middleweight. And all this stuff doesn't matter because we're going to actually be playing it. So gender does matter. It's going to be male. So here we go. Secondary title. So here we go. We have the AEW World Junior Heavyweight title. All right, let's see if we can change the television title and make it look something different here. There's the old, or a different looking World Heavyweight title, but it's not too much different. Not really seeing anything that's going to work here. Yeah, there's nothing that's really going to work. So we'll keep that as the TV title. You know what? We'll change it to the All Atlantic title for the TV title for now. There we go. All right, so now it's going to be off to Ring of Honor. So let's go to Ring of Honor and let's check out the titles. Okay, for a company this small, there is no reason that we need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 titles. Okay, I have no problem. All right, well, check this out. All right. Ring of Honor is no longer world class, right? It's pretty much just a subsidiary of All Elite Wrestling. Do you know what? We'll keep it world-class titles for now, even though it's really not. So we're going to change this over to World Heavyweight again. The World Six-Man title, again, there's no need for it. We're retiring that title. The Pure title. It may have had a purpose or a point at one point in time, but it doesn't anymore here. So we can get rid of the Pure title. Sorry, Wheeler Yuta. And the World Television title is okay. We can keep the World Television title. So right now we have a unified World Television title with Samoa Joe holding both. What we could do here is change this to the Ring of Honor Heavyweight title, and we could change this to just the television title, also the World Tag Team over to Tag Team, but we're going to leave it that way for now. This makes me sad seeing this, because Jay Briscoe is still there, and this mod was made for early January, and obviously it was made before what happened to him. I got to tell you, everybody, that one has really upset me, and I'm going to tell you why. I was an independent wrestling promoter. I also trained to be an independent wrestler. I trained from 2001 to 2002, and then I ended up finding my niche in doing announcing, commentary, and ring announcing, and then I also ran my own promotion in the early 2000s. I may have told you about this before, but I ran shows in the suburban Chicago area. I was also linked up with a bunch of independent promotions in Illinois. My brother and I traveled around the Midwest doing shows, and we started out running our own shows by doing supercards, by doing tournaments. It was called the I-8 Tournament of Champions, the Interstate 8 Tournament of Champions. And we invited wrestlers from around the Midwest and in some cases from around the country. And Ace Steel won our tournament one year. A guy by the name of Brandon Bishop won our tournament. Sean Devari won our tournament. We had names such as Colt Cabana, CM Punk, Ken Anderson, who became Kamikaze Ken Kennedy, Austin Aries wrestled for us. We used names like that. And I can remember when we started running our regular independent shows that we ran through CM Punk, we were making contact with the Briscoe brothers to bring them in. This was about 2004, and it just never ended up happening. But looking back on it, I wish we had brought them in because they were a great tag team. And Jay and Mark Briscoe were definitely, in my opinion, and I think it's a valid opinion, I think they're the best tag team of the last 20 years. And I'm not saying that just because Jay passed away this past week, but I'm saying it because it's true. I think they were probably the best independent tag team of the last 20 years. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody that's better. All right, moving right along with this. So the Women of Honor, I picked Allison Danger, and she is the CEO and also the booker for Women of Honor. So there we stand, everybody. We are ready to rock and begin our television tapings, but I have a lot of research to do because some of these wrestlers are going to get shipped off over to Ring of Honor, and some of them are going to be assigned as enhancement, and we're going to see how well we can run AEW here, everybody, and see how it goes. So I just want to show you what was going on, and feel free to leave comments below. I am definitely wide open because this is new for me. This is a new experience. I'm definitely way out of my comfort zone, but we're going to give things a shot here and have some fun with this save. So thank you, everybody, for tuning into this episode. If you're new to our channel, please hit that subscribe button. Drop us a message below. For those of you that are interested in following us on social media, you can on facebook.com/groups/1987. You can also find us, 1987 Supermod, facebook.com/group/1987 Supermod. You can also find us over on Reddit under the subreddit group of TEW 2020 Friends. You can also find us on Discord under the 1987 Supermod server. And last but not least, if you're looking for the latest and greatest of the 1987 Supermod, you can find it over on patreon.com/PowerCast Network. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time.